how's it going? I am here to do your weekly reading for Aries for the week of May 25th. I'm not starting with the chart this time because the astrology is actually pretty quiet this week. There's no major new energies, so we'll just be sort of working with energies that we've had for the last couple days, week or so. Next week's a bit busier. New moon, some of the planets change signs as well. Right now, kind of the big issue, I think, for us is, hold on, may I have a card, please, for Aries, for the energy for Aries the week of May 25th, 2019. Energy for Aries, week of May 25th, 2019. Yeah, dissipating. Okay. So you may, it's the Mars in Cancer, which some people will feel more at home with, other people will feel less at home with. It's sort of up and down, you know, like I said in my other reading, it's, you can feel physically charged one day and then the next day completely spent. You can feel a little bit more defensive. You can feel like the world is attacking you, and in some cases that may actually be the case. I've noticed that people are a little bit more aggressive this week than with me. And I don't think it's my perception. It could be my perception. I think it's a mix. The universe may also just be testing my patience. But you know, Cancer likes to be in the home. It feels safe there. So you may find yourself just retreating and not really wanting to deal with people or wanting to fight. Interesting. This is an integrity card. So there's that yellow energy again. And it's funny, I did a session with an energy healer that I work with who's amazing. And she actually did some work on my solar plexus. And one of the things she said to me was that when you're kind of in these moments of like blue energy, you see the difference also between the yellow and the purple here, that you know, to be drawn to things like sunflowers and stuff. And it was funny because I went to the supermarket yesterday and they had just gotten in a whole shipment of sunflowers, so I literally bought them all. Anything to kind of cheer up, and it does work. They are also my favorite flowers, so that helps. But there is a need, because the energy's a little bit heavy. Oh, look, she's kind of like wearing a purple outfit also. Energy's a little bit heavy, I think, because that Mars in Cancer. So it's kind of like try and stay as much in your joy space as can be. May I have 3 cards, please, for Aries for the week of May 25th, 2019. Okay, feeling a little bit bruised and like you have to defend yourself from the world. I get that. 2 more cards, please, for Aries for the week of May 25th, 2019. Oh, too many. 2 more cards, please, for Aries for the week of May 25th, 2019. I'm going to take that. Oh, nice. Right at the center. New partnerships. Okay. And okay. So let's see. We have the Emperor. Emperor. 3 of Wands. Lots and lots of yellow energy. And the 5 of Cups. This is kind of like, to me, this is kind of like Cancer energy. So interesting. Here we are in the middle, right? And here's the 2 cups, here's the 3 wands, looking at the 3 cups, ignoring the 2 cups here, feeling a little bit defensive in this energy. So let's see, let me check on this and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so let's try and piece this together. It's actually a little bit fragmented. The message is the same, but it's kind of weird here. I think the key is to notice that you see how there's this sort of very defensive and unhappy energy that's book ending. And then inside there's new partnerships, new ships, and at the center is us. So it's like we're kind of at the center of this energy, right? And this card says integrity. And it's kind of like all of this stuff is going on around us. There may be some betrayal. And I, at the beginning when I was shuffling, I said that I've had a lot of people like attacking me, or even family, over the last couple of days. And, that could be this sense of defensiveness. And it talks about betrayals happening. That's what this is. And it talks about people basically talking shit, right? And that you may feel defensive, or it may put you into a sense of mourning the information that you learned. Now, there's 3 birds here, you see. There's the loyal heart, which is upside down, and then we have this other parakeet here. Now, and because we have Mercury in Gemini right now, and those are sort of the birds, we may be hearing a lot of stuff, but Mercury in Gemini loves to gossip. It's a little bit, it can be two-faced. And you notice that the owls are upside down. Owls are usually symbols of wisdom, but when they're upside down, it can be distorted wisdom. So this card specifically talks about being betrayed, perhaps through words. Perhaps through actions. It's possible you may have found out about something, betrayal at work, a betrayal in love. You may be thinking like, again, this is happening again. And whatever the 3 is, whatever's coming in the 3, it can make you feel like this, right? This is very much the Cancer energy here, I think. And we forget about the 2, about what it is, where it's like we're so focused on whatever the 3 story is. Maybe you hear 3 pieces of information, maybe it's 3 people, maybe 3 people attack you. Whatever that 3 story is, the more you concentrate on it, the more you're going to forget about what's actually going well in your life. Now, this card here, integrity, talks about staying in your center, right? And as long as you are true to yourself, as long as you are faithful to that which you believe in, people will come and try and challenge you. And this actually talks about betrayal on purpose as a way to test your integrity. So if that person talks shit, are you going to rise to the occasion, or are you going to let it take you down? How do you want to deal with those 3s? Do you want to say, oh, look at what I've lost? Or do you want to say, okay, but look at what's coming in? So these are sort of 2 ways, and this is also Gemini on that, there's 2 ways to look at that information that will be coming into you. Or the 2 different ways of looking at those 3 people. You can look at them as opportunities of ways to say, okay, I can turn this to my benefit, or that's a demonstration of my strength, whatever those 3 things are. Or you can mourn the loss. What we're invited to do this week, when people challenge us, so when people challenge us, we're okay, except when Mars is in Cancer, because it gets really sensitive and gets really, they have the crab shell because inside that animal is just made of mush. So it has to be extremely defensive, otherwise it breaks. And what we're being asked to do here is to stay in this energy, right? Remember who we are at our core, that inside we are actually not made of mush. Inside we are actually emperors. And so people may come and they may challenge us and they may try and knock over our cups and they may try and hit us with the 10th wand, and they may betray us and they may leave us and they may try and fool us. But ultimately, what's closest to us right now are two very, very, very nice cards. New partnerships, new opportunities. There's so much newness right now that's being, at the moment, unfortunately bookended by some very defensive and potentially remorseful energy. Now, as I'm talking about remorse, I want to talk about this card in the center here. This card, the story here is, each one of these cards has a story. So these two are lifelong friends, and they've spent their whole life talking about how they're going to make this movie. They've been watching this movie for their whole lives, and when they finally get the money, they're going to make the movie. And then something happens, and they get the money. Right? What they wanted comes in. But when they get the money, instead of making the film, they decide to go on a trip. Okay? And so this asks us a couple of questions. Number one, are we so when, if you have a plan and then you end up not doing the plan, sometimes you can then make yourself feel very guilty and you do it on purpose. I've been working a lot with some clients recently who love to make new dreams or new plans that they actually really have no intention of realizing, because they have a psychological need to beat themselves up. So it's like, see, it's another thing you're not doing. See, it's another opportunity you let go. So we can at times even put ourselves into this energy. It's like, you see, I was supposed to have those 3 wands and I knocked them over, and now look at what happened. So the question here is, if you actually didn't want to go through with the thing that you had planned, if it was just a plan, and sometimes we make dreams, I always dreamed of being one of the ballerinas in the heavy metal rock videos in the 80s. It's like, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I didn't do that, because honestly, it's not really my dream. So it would be pointless for me to be sorry about things I never executed, when I should be focusing on the things I can execute in the future that I really want. So this asks us also, in the face of potential challenges that come in from people around you, or even from yourself, you may actually be beating yourself up from a sense of defensiveness this week because of this Mars in Cancer, that you feel particularly vulnerable and like you're not going through, and it may actually be because the energy is so up and down that you're like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so what these cards ask us this week is not a big movement. It's very mental. It's to stay in our integrity, to not let ourselves get wavered by the chirping birds that may be talking in our ear and trying to make us feel bad. That actually what is surrounding us right now is lovely. Look at these 3 cards here. You have the Emperor in the middle of new relationships, new projects. This is like full package here, and this is what's at the center. So again, with the Gemini, there's 2 sides to every story. So it's like, we could stay here or we could stay here, and it's a mental flip. So that's something we have to do ourselves. You know, it's also like, don't betray yourself. Don't betray yourself by, if you don't do what you said you were going to do, beating yourself up about it. Maybe you actually didn't really want to do it. And if you do want to do it, then stay in your integrity, be loyal to yourself, and take the steps that are necessary to do it. So no procrastination, but also no beating yourself up about things that you thought you should have done that you didn't do, which is very much these 3 wands here and these 3 cups. Okay, so yes, don't be your own enemy this week. It looks like we may actually have a lot of challenges coming in from the outside. As this card suggests to us, sometimes those challenges are to help us get clear, you know? So they challenge you to say, what do you really want to do? And they help you consolidate what is actually at the core of your solar plexus. What is the thing that you actually want to make happen? Were these cups really worth, you know, losing sleep over? There's 2 more, you know? So where do we have to turn around and be like, okay, fine, I lost those, but let me focus on these other 2 that are actually pretty awesome. So yeah, stay in your integrity, Emperor mindset all week long, particularly when people try and come for you, which it sounds like they may. There might be 3 incidents of people coming for you. And just remember, as they happen, look for patterns, right? Whatever the pattern is over the week, that's where you're being challenged to stay in your integrity. And so you have a choice to be in this energy or to be in this energy. And if you find yourself here, just flip a switch, change the movie in your head, change the story you've been telling yourself. See, there's also 3 people there on the wall that are going to come and tell you about what your dream is here. Flip the story. Whatever the story is that these people try and come at and try and tell you, you remember that actually what is surrounding you right now, the 2 things that you have in your hand, are far more powerful than their words. Okay? Hope this was helpful, and I will see you on Monday for the extendeds. Sorry, just wanted to do an addendum. I was putting the cards away, and at the bottom of the deck, there's the 3 of cups there. So yeah, definitely look for anything that happens in 3s this week. Okay? Bye again.